High Castle TV series. This article is about the 2015 television series. For the original 1962 novel, see The Man in the High Castle. The Man in the High Castle is an American dystopian alternate history television series created for streaming service Amazon Prime Video, depicting a parallel universe where the Axis powers of Nazi Germany and the Empire of Japan ruled the world after their victory in World War II. It was created by Frank Spotnitz and produced by Amazon Studios, Ridley Scott's Scott-Free Productions, Headline Pictures, Electric Shepherd Productions, and Big Light Productions. The series is based on Philip K. Dick's 1962 novel of the same name. The Man in the High Castle genre alternate history drama dystopian sci-fi created by Frank Spotnitz based on The Man in the High Castle by Philip K. Dick, starring Alexa Davalos, Rupert Evans, Luke Kleintank, DJ Qualls, Joel de la Fuente, Carrie Hiroyuki Tagawa, Rufus Sewell, Brennan Brown, Callum Keith, Rennie Bella, Heathkit, Keela Horstel, Michael Gaston, Jason O'Mara, Francis Turner. Opening theme Edelweiss. Performed by Jeanette Olson. Composers Henry Jackman, Dominic Lewis. Country of origin United States. Original languages English, German, Japanese. No of seasons for no of episodes 40. Production executive producers Ridley Scott, Frank Spotnitz, Christian Bott, ISA Dick Hackett, Stuart McKinnon, Christopher Tricarico. Producers Michael Cedar, Gene Higgins, Jordan Sheehan, David W. Zucker. Production locations Seattle, Washington, Monroe, Washington, Vancouver, British Columbia. Cinematography James Hawkinson, Gonzalo Amat. Editor Catherine Himoff. Running time 70 minutes. Production companies Amazon Studios, Scott-Free Productions, Electric Shepherd Productions, Headline Pictures, Big Light Productions, Picro Reunion Pictures. Original release network Amazon Prime Video. Release January 15, 2015, November 15, 2019. Based on Philip K. Dick's 1962 classic novel of the same name. Executively produced by Ridley Scott and Frank Spotnitz. X-Files, Leonardo. The Man in the High Castle is an alternative speculative fiction in which Nazi Germany and Imperial Japan have won the war after the assassination of Franklin D. Roosevelt in 1933 and the atomic bombing of Washington, D.C. in 1947. The title refers to the titular character who collects and edits different books from various realities, along with his writing partner George Orwell. The pilot premiered in January 2015, and Amazon ordered a 10-episode season the following month, which was released in November. A second season of 10 episodes premiered in December 2016, and a third season was released on October 5, 2018. The fourth and final season premiered on November 15, 2019. Setting edit. Set in 1962, the series' main setting is a parallel universe where the Axis powers have won World War II in 1946 after Giuseppe Zangara successfully assassinates United States President-elect Franklin D. Roosevelt in 1933, creating a series of developments that include the Germans dropping an atomic bomb on Washington, D.C. The German Reich extends to Europe and Africa, and the Empire of Japan comprises Asia, but most of the series is set in the former U.S. and in Germany proper. Flag of the Japanese Pacific States, part of the Empire of Japan. Western North America, now part of the Japanese Pacific States, is occupied by the technologically less advanced Showa period Empire of Japan, which has assimilated its formerly American citizens into Japanese culture, although high-class ethnic Japanese are extremely fascinated by pre-war American culture. Japan's trade and science ministers work in the Pacific States capital, San Francisco. The Japanese rulers subject non-Japanese people to discrimination and grant them fewer rights. Flag of Nazi America, part of the Greater Nazi Reich. Eastern and Midwestern North America is a colony controlled by the Greater Nazi Reich under an aging Führer Adolf Hitler. The colony, headed by a Reichsmarshal of North America, is commonly referred to as Nazi America or the American Reich, and its capital is New York City. The Nazis continue to hunt minorities and euthanize the physically and mentally sick. The superior technology of the Germans is highlighted by the use of video phones and Concorde-like rockets for intercontinental travel. The U.S. as depicted in the television series. Though Denver is the capital of the neutral zone, Cannon City, Colorado, is a major setting. A neutral zone, which encompasses the Rocky Mountains, serves as a buffer zone between the Japanese Pacific states and Nazi America due to Cold War-like tensions between the German and Japanese blocs. Another buffer zone is present in the Urals. Films collected by the eponymous Man in the High Castle show views of numerous other Earths, including some where the Allies were victorious, some featuring executed Allied leaders, and some where an American resistance is doing well. Cast edit main edit Alexa Davalos as Juliana Crane, a young woman from San Francisco who is outwardly happy living under Japanese control. She is an expert in Aikido and is friendly with the Japanese people who live in San Francisco. As Juliana learns of the Man in the High Castle and his films, she begins to rebel. Rupert Evans as Frank, Juliana's boyfriend at the beginning of the series. He works in a factory creating replicas of pre-war American pistols and creates original jewelry and sketches on his own time. Frank's grandfather was Jewish, making him a target of discrimination. When Juliana vanishes just after the police kill her sister, Frank is taken into custody. Soon after, he turns against the state and works with the American resistance. Luke Kleintank as Joe Blake, a new recruit to the underground American resistance who is actually an agent working for the SS, under Obergruppenführer John Smith. He transports a reel of the forbidden film The Grasshopper Lies Heavy to the neutral Rocky Mountain states as part of his mission to infiltrate the resistance. He meets Juliana and quickly falls in love with her, leading to him questioning his allegiance to the Reich. DJ Qualls as Ed McCarthy, Frank's coworker and friend. He closely follows politics and cares very much about Juliana and Frank's well-being. It is revealed in Season 3 that Ed is gay. Joel de la Fuente as Takeshi Kido, the chief inspector who is the ruthless head of the Kempitai stationed in San Francisco. Kari Hiroyuki Tagawa as Nobasuke Tagomi, the trade minister of the Pacific States of America. His true loyalties are ambiguous throughout the first season. Rufus Sewell as John Smith, an SS Obergruppenführer, later promoted to Oberstgruppenführer, and then to Reichsmarshal of the colony of North America who is investigating the resistance in New York. He is a natural-born American who had served in the U.S. Army Signal Corps. He initially lives a comfortable suburban life with a wife and 3 children but subsequently moves the family to Manhattan. Brennan Brown as Robert Childen, an antique store owner who makes secret deals with Frank Callum. Keith Rennie as Gary Connell, leader of the West Coast resistance movement and enforcer for Benson. Bella Heathcote as Nicole Dormer, a young Berlin-born filmmaker who crosses paths with Joe and moves to the American Reich in the 3rd season. Michael Gaston as Mark Sampson, a Jewish friend of Frank's living in San Francisco, who later relocates to the neutral zone. Jason O'Mara as Wyatt Price, also known as Liam, an Irishman who is a black market supplier of information to Juliana. Frances Turner as Belle Mallory, the leader of the Black Communist Rebellion in San Francisco. Recurring edit Aaron Blakely as Eric Redder, an SS Sturmbannführer working with Smith. Karsten Norgard as Rudolf Wegener, a disillusioned high-ranking Nazi official who trades secrets with Tagomi. Rick Worthy as Lemuel M. Washington, the owner of the Sunrise Diner in Cannon City. And member of the resistance. Camille Sullivan as Karen Vecchione, a leader of the Pacific States branch of the resistance. Lee Shorten as Hiroyuki Yoshida, a sergeant and Inspector Kido's right-hand man. Arnold Chun as Kodamichi, Tagomi's aide-de-camp, who came from the parallel world after his hometown, Nagasaki, was destroyed by an American atomic bomb. Bernhard Fortier as Hugo Rice, the German ambassador to the Japanese Pacific States. Christine Chatelaine as Laura Crothers, Frank's sister, who is executed as a threat to force a confession from Frank. Hank Harris as Randall Becker, a member of the Pacific States branch of the resistance. Alan Havey as the Origami Man, a Sicherheitsdienst operative sent to Cannon City to eliminate members of the resistance. Bern Gorman as the Marshal, a bounty hunter searching for concentration camp escapees. Sean Ross as the Shoeshine Boy, a young albino man living in Cannon City. Rob LaBelle as Carl, a bookstore clerk in Cannon City who is revealed to be a concentration camp escapee. David P. Freeze. Jeffrey Blake as Jason Meyer, a Jewish member of the resistance. Daisuke Tsuji as the Crown Prince of Japan. Mayumi Yoshida as the Crown Princess of Japan. Amy Okuda as Christine Tanaka, an office worker working in the Nippon building Neil Bledsoe as SS Captain Connolly, and American SS officers serving under John Smith, later revealed to be a spy working for Reinhard Heydrich Hiro Kanagawa as Taishiro Okamura, the leader of a Yakuza based in the Pacific States. Louis Ozawa Chanchi-en as Paul Kasura, a wealthy lawyer who collects pre-war American memorabilia. Tao Okamoto as Betty Kasura, Paul's wife. Stephen Root as Hawthorne Abenson, the man in the high castle, the head of the American anti-fascist resistance. Creating films set in other worlds. Sebastian Roche as Martin Huseman, Joe's estranged father and a high-ranking Reichsminister in the Nazi government. Kara Mitsuko as Sarah, a Japanese-American resistance member, Frank's confidant and a survivor of the Manzanar concentration camp. Tate Donovan as George Dixon, Trudy's biological father and a member of the resistance in New York City. Michael Hogan as Hagen, an ex-priest and leader in the San Francisco resistance. C. Ma as General Hidehisa Onoda, a leading member of the Japanese Army. Giles Panton as Billy Turner, a Nazi Reich American advertising executive who is working with Nicole Dormer to erase the memories of the former U.S. from the minds of the citizens in the Nazi Reich America. And Magnuson as Caroline Abenson, the wife of Hawthorne Abenson. Laura Minnell as Thelma Harris, a closeted lesbian gossip column reporter in New York City. Janet Kidder as Lila Jacobs, one of the many Jews protected in a Catholic commune in the neutral zone. Jeffrey Nordling as Daniel Ryan, a Jungian therapist employed to treat Helen Smith's grief following the death of her son. Thomas Aki Kotabe as Nakamura, a Japanese-American sergeant of mixed ethnicity who works under Kido as Yoshida's replacement. Tamlin Tomita as Tomiko Watanabe, an Okinawan Hawaiian painter who befriends Tagomi Ijiro Ozaki as Inokuchi, an admiral and the head of the Imperial Japanese Navy fleet stationed in the San Francisco Bay. James Neat as Jack, a man in the neutral zone with whom Ed McCarthy becomes romantically involved. Sen Mitsuji as Toru Kido, Inspector Kido's son who suffers from PTSD. Chika Kanemoto as Yukiko, Childen's assistant, and later wife. C.L.E. Bennett as Elijah, Belle Mallory's lover and one of the members of the BCR. David Harewood as Equiano Hampton, the leader of the BCR. Rachel Nichols as Martha, Helen Smith's wife companion, assigned by the Reich to keep an eye on her. Michael Hajiwara as Okami, a Yakuza boss operating in the JPS. Bruce Locke as Yamori, a hardline Japanese general in favor of continuing the occupation of the JPS. Eric Lang as Whitcroft, a general and John Smith's second-in-command. Mark Rissman as Wilhelm Gortzman, an Obergruppenführer from Berlin. Rich Ting as Ijima, a Japanese captain. John Smith's family. Edit Quinn Lord as Thomas Smith, John and Helen's son and the eldest child. A member of the Hitler Youth, it is later revealed that he has inherited a form of muscular dystrophy from his father's side of the family. Learning this, he turns himself in to the Reich sanitation services and is euthanized. In the fourth season, Lord plays Thomas in an alternate universe where the Axis lost World War II. Grison Chigny as Amy Smith, John and Helen's daughter. Jania Charpentier as Jennifer Smith, John and Helen's daughter. Juliana Crane's family. Edit Daniel Roebuck as Arnold Walker, Juliana's stepfather and Trudy's father. McCall Gordon as in Crane Walker, Juliana's mother who is still bitter about losing her husband in World War II. Connor Leslie as Trudy Walker, Juliana's half-sister who is shot dead by the Kempitai. However, she is shown alive at the end of the second season, revealed in the third season to be from an alternate timeline in which it was Juliana who died. Nobasuke Tagomi's family. Edit Yukari Komatsu as Michiko Tagomi, Nobasuke's wife Edi Shin as Noriaki Tagomi, Nobasuke and Michiko's son. Historical characters. Edit Wolf Muser as Adolf Hitler, the leader of the Greater Nazi Reich. Ray Prostja as Reinhard Heydrich, an SS Oberstgruppenführer. Keone Young as Shunra Kuhata, a Field Marshal. Kenneth Tigar as Heinrich Himmler, an SS Reichsfuhrer, and later the new Führer. Lisa Paxton as Eva Braun, Hitler's wife, at his side on his deathbed. David Furr as George Lincoln Rockwell, the Reichsmarshal of German-controlled America, plotting against John Smith. William Forsythe as J. Edgar Hoover, the director of the American Reich Bureau of Investigation, co-plotting with Rockwell. John Hans Tester as Joseph Mengele, the head of studies about trans-universe travel, realizing an enormous traveling machine. Gwynth Walsh as Margaret Himmler, Himmler's wife and the head of the Reich Red Cross. Timothy V. Murphy as Adolf Eichmann, and SS Oberstgruppenführer Hiromoto Ida as Hirohito. The Japanese Emperor release date years. The first and second episodes were screened at a special Comic-Con event. The season premiered on November 20th, 2015. The second season was released on December 16th, 2016. The third season was released on October 5th, 2018. The fourth season was released on November 15th, 2019. If you like this video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and other social media platforms to My Brothers and Sisters.